How many hot dogs do you guys think you can eat in 10 minutes?
5 and not feel great about it.
There's no feeling great no matter what you're doing.
I'm gonna say this. I think I could eat a whole pack of them. I think I could eat eight.
You go an 8-pack?
Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna get 8 hot dogs.
That is a lot of hot dogs.
No, I eat like a stray dog who's never seen food.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the 49th episode of the Ride the Pine podcast. That is Adam Freeman, Kenny Hudden. I am Sean Sproat. Welcome back, guys. 49 episodes. We are so close to 50. If we actually keep our schedule, we might hit it by next week.
Ooh.
I don't believe you. I don't think it'll happen.
Just might.
Somebody will be sick. Some kid will interrupt it. It is what it is.
You know what would be a perfect present for our 50th episode? A certain someone following us on
ceiling tiles.
That would also be welcome.
We're not on that kind of budget yet.
It's like you have this nice like wood background. It makes you think like you're in like a nice study, but you're like deep in the basement somewhere in Missouri.
Yeah.
And if you ever went into that basement, you would feel like a serial killer did work there. Yeah.
Yeah, probably. It's not as bad as it used to be. It definitely is bad. I could sit in the office. I've got the Longhorn. I have a picture of when I was on a meeting. We have a Longhorn on the office wall, and I was not even paying attention. I was kind of leaned over, looking at doing my thing, and I looked up on a meeting, and the horns were perfect on me. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I was on a meeting for like 20 minutes, and not one person said a word.
That's because all of them were screenshotting it. That's what was happening.
Probably.
Yeah, what you don't realize is that's the picture when you call these people.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Like 4 or 5 years. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's still not as good as...
We do approve horns down.
Horns down for sure. It's still not my best one. I did do an entire company meeting dressed in a suit and tie with the presidential seal behind me as if I was reporting from the White House. It was fantastic. I'll send you guys the picture.
Knock on your door from some Secret Service agent.
It was pretty awesome.
Well, I mean, do you guys want to talk about the biggest news of the week?
I think so.
While I was gone, what do you think the biggest story was? That's right. John Cena announced his retirement.
That was huge. That was monstrous. It took 35 minutes for him to get it out. It was huge.
Oh, at this past Saturday's Money in the Bank, John Cena, the legendary millennial Hulk Hogan, announces that 2025 will end his run as an in-ring competitor with the WWE. Now, as you guys know, our loyal listeners, we're big fans of John Cena here. We can't see him, but he's in our hearts.
Apparently, he doesn't see us either.
Yeah, somebody asked John Cena why he follows 800,000 people on Twitter. And I quote, "The reason I want to follow everyone is because I want to hear from everyone. You get everyone's opinion." I had to paraphrase that, my screen. Yeah, there we go. You get everyone's opinion. And though that can develop your own opinions, I've got to be honest. There's a lot of negativity on there. I want to be exposed to all, even that toxicity. I'm curious, and I don't ever want to lose the curiosity in my life. For my life. What do you guys think? This just sounds like to me that a guy who has a wife who's probably a little jealous and nosy and wonders why he follows so many porn stars. Thoughts?
No way. I am absolutely angry. We are screaming for the rooftops for John to hear our opinion. Nothing. God,
we've played games completely about John Cena and who he.
I think we've played it more than that. We've mentioned it at least 3 or 4 times, and we talk about him pretty often. In the 49 episodes, he's got to be on 10% of our episodes.
Oh, that's a good question to go back and see how many.
And I did the math, so it's probably true.
Yeah, it's probably accurate. Yeah. You know what? that like quote felt like a PR spin. So I think you're onto something, Kenny. There's I don't know if malicious is the right word, but there's some malintent underneath that. Yeah, I mean, your jump to porn stars is a wild take, but it may not be wrong.
I mean, in doing the game, and that's like part of like the problem. Like one of the things is like I wanted people that I follow, and I'm not following those type of people. But like you have to like start clicking on list and like, you know, I love Tim McKernan, but Tim McKernan also follows a bunch of porn stars because that's what they talk about on TMA. And like all of a sudden you're like, John Cena follows her. And you're like, holy hell, like what is going on here?
How does he manage his timeline? How do you see anything like that's relevant at all with 800,000 people following? How does the algorithm pick and choose what he sees and what he doesn't?
I can't imagine what it would be like to open the phone and like actually see alerts like constantly.
There's no way you can clear those.
Like I get all excited. We see one and I'm like, ooh, what did we do?
Right.
And then it's like somebody went live and I was like, damn it.
You have to think he's not doing that himself though. Has that man ever actually looked at his phone in the last 10 years? Like really?
No, I would I bet he does, but not in the sense that we would look at Twitter. Like I bet he opens it. I bet he checks little things here and there. They all do. I mean, they do have somebody to manage their own account, but he looks at it. Does he look at all 800,000 people? No, but he needs to look at 800,001 because Ride the Pine has great content.
Yes, I agree. Now, I guess my only question would be for the actual wrestling fan in the room is so John Cena, 16-time world champion. I believe he is tied with Ric Flair. Ric Flair is obviously fallen out of grace with WWE. Do they put a belt on Cena to say he is the greatest of all time?
Yes, they will.
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
The jorts will have jewelry on them by the time he is done.
I mean, I would personally prefer St. Louis's own Randy Orton. And he's pretty close, but I get it. Like I when I called him the millennial Hulk Hogan, that's not necessarily an insult, but like for guys my age, like Cena was probably it. Yeah. And you know, you can argue that he wasn't great in the ring, but I think he made Randy Orton better. I do think he made Edge better. I think he made CM Punk the best in the world.
I think part of what made him great was his ability to do more than wrestle.
Yep.
I think that's the key. Is he was great on the mic, he was great cutting promos. Yeah, he could wrestle. Guys respected him. Great fashion sense. Jorts made a comeback because of him.
They really did.
I know.
They really did.
And they've gone away. Since he's been gone, they've gone away.
Yeah.
I honestly, for me, Kenny, you're right. He is our generation of Hulk Hogan. We saw the tail end of Hulk Hogan, and then we see all of Cena. He's that generation, that talent. Mm-hmm. I think he gets a belt. Honestly, in my opinion, I think he gets a belt. He becomes 17-time, and I think he loses it to Randy. I think that's the handoff that happens. So,
I mean, that would be a hell of a WrestleMania match if you ran back Orton Cena. I think it would be incredible. It would do it justice. And I know there's going to be people like, God damn, they're talking about wrestling again. But, you know, John Cena is somebody who now transcends modern pop culture, right? Like, I think Peacemaker might be one of the best shows on TV.
He's on Shark Week.
He is on Shark Week. So he's he's right there with AEW too. You know, AEW being like leading sponsor of Shark Week. Peacemaker, like I said, was great. Ricky Stenicki was funny. Like he is a good actor. I think he's one serious role away from being Batista.
And there's a actor and a character that's going to be in Peacemaker 2, Frank Grillo. He's going to be in Peacemaker 2. He's also going to be in the upcoming Superman movie, the James Gunn Superman movie. So it's highly likely that John Cena will make a cameo in a Superman movie.
Who is Frank Grillo playing?
He is playing Rick Flag Sr.
Oh, what a great casting.
It's perfect. I mean, James Gunn does it again for all of our comic nerds out there. They know.
And we sit here as sports guys, but Adam knows he was a witness to the House of Dragon conversation today. We're just really big nerds. Pop culture is huge. So
yeah. We won't subject Adam to that anymore. Let's move on to our actual first topic. We got to talk some footy. All right, where do you guys want to start? Do you want to start Copa America and the failings of the United States, or do you want to hit on the Euros?
If Gregg Berhalter is not fired immediately, right now, after Canada's loss to Argentina, I'm going to be so pissed. So I know what's going to happen. I'm going to be so pissed.
So it's not. I don't think it's going to happen. Right now, at the time of recording, it is July 9th, just before 10 p.m. Central Time. It's been, what, a week since the United States kicked out of the Copa America in the group stage, and he still has a job. And all we keep hearing is that they're evaluating it and that they're reviewing it for the future of the United States Soccer Federation. I think if it was going to happen, it would have happened by now. And it also doesn't help that his boss is his brother.
I think that they did say by mid to end of week, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. And I think that in my opinion, for them to avoid as much backlash for firing the guy, going through a review and bringing him back, which they shouldn't have done in the first place, and then firing him again, I don't think that you can fire him and not in that same exact sentence say, oh, we've hired so-and-so. It has to be, we have fired Gregg Berhalter and we have hired whoever, Jesse Marsh. I don't think that happens, but whatever. Maybe it's Jurgen Florgan again. I don't care. Anybody's going to be better than Gregg Berhalter.
Don't put that on us. Don't bring that back. Gregg Berhalter is better than Jurgen. Not the other Jurgen, which is rumored, which is Jurgen Klopp.
Klopp would be a great one. He'd be a better Jurgen.
That feels like shooting for the stars, which is what they should have been doing.
Let's backtrack a second. With a worse team, Jurgen Klinsmann took a worse men's national team to the semifinals of the Copa America. Gregg Berhalter, with the golden generation, can't even qualify.
Yeah.
I take no more Klinsmann slander.
They qualified for Copa. They lost in the group.
You know what I meant.
They didn't qualify, though. They were given the space.
They were invited. They were invited to Copa.
So let's be honest with that. Same with Mexico.
You were the first host ever, correct?
No.
To not make it to the knockout stage.
No,
that is correct. That is correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Embarrassing.
Very.
Absolutely embarrassing. And you know what? I don't like Alexi Lawless, and I don't like a lot of his opinions. But I thought, was it him or maybe it was Clint Dempsey, who was just like, we're wasting this golden generation, and like all these guys sit here and do is support him. Like they support him because it's easy, because he's a buddy. Like your coach doesn't need to be your friend all the time.
No,
well, I think that's exactly it.
Especially a coach you see once every 6 months.
Right. Yeah. I mean, truthfully, and this was in probably that same conversation, and I think it might have been Lawless that said it. The minute that we did not have a chance, before it even happened, was the second that Berhalter told the team that it was now 1-1 in the other game. It is a 100% loser mentality to tell your team, guys, all we got to do is tie. It's all right. We got this. No, you go out and get the effing win and get out of here. Like, that's what it should have been from the very beginning. They got hosed against Panama. I will agree to that. They deserve the red card. They should have done that, but they should have won that game. That game should have been a win. It was a little bit jaded. I think that should have been a W, and we shouldn't have had this conversation.
You're right about that, because you know what Dana White says, and I love Dana White's quote on this. You don't leave it up to the judges.
Exactly. There's no reason that he should have. And you have zero control in another game. You know that other game is not going to go your direction no matter what happens. It's just not. There's no way unless something drastic happened and the world totally turned upside down. You knew that that Panama was going to come away with that win. You knew it.
Yeah.
So why would you even try to do that? Go out, in the first 20 minutes, they should have scored. They didn't. And then they laid back. They weathered the storm from Uruguay. That's great. And then they went, oh, you know what? That game's tied. It's okay. We don't have to work as hard. We're good. And then guess what? 5 seconds later, the ball's in the back of the net. That doesn't happen. That should never happen. No coach should ever tell their team play for a tie, unless they're losing and they need a goal.
Well, he holds up that it's 1-1 and he tells the team, right, and then however many seconds later, Uruguay goes and scores and they blew it. But the fact that he told them tells me that they had that discussion in the locker room and in training leading up to the game. So that was he already put that mindset that is a possibility. That should, just like you said, that should never have been on the table. Losing to Uruguay, that's actually completely fine, even on home soil in a half-empty Arrowhead Stadium, which is pathetic, by the way. That's fine. Uruguay is a great team. Beating Bolivia by just 2 goals at home is pathetic.
Yeah.
Losing how they did to
Panama.
Thank you, Panama is horrendous. That is Tim Weah is a great player.
He just let his emotions get the best of him.
Yeah, but there needs to be consequences for that, and I don't think he should see the men's national team for some time. I don't.
I could see that.
If you bring him into a camp, you don't play him. There needs to be consequences for that action. But the whole thing is that they shouldn't even been in that position. That they should beat Panama by 3 or 4 goals. Realistically, Panama at the time was ranked like the 42nd team, 43rd team in the world. USA was top 12. You have to beat them. And you have to beat them.
And wasn't like we had won the past 5 matches and we hadn't lost in like 10 matches or something like that against them.
And to bring it back to Berhalter, the only like top team in the world that he has beaten is Mexico. Now, granted, he's beaten Mexico multiple times, but it doesn't matter.
Mexico is not relevant.
It doesn't matter what you do in CONCACAF anymore.
Right.
It doesn't matter anymore. I don't care what you do in CONCACAF at all. As long as you qualify for the big tournaments, it does not matter to me. What you do against Uruguay, what you do against Argentina, against England, against Holland, like teams like that, that's what I care about. And they're just not getting it done. And the fact that they brought him in, even though the World Cup ended how badly, the way that it went, and they brought him back, tells me that they don't care about winning. It's never been about winning. All it is about selling overpriced tickets to half-empty stadiums and making a profit. That's the only thing the United States Soccer Federation cares about. That's the only thing they're going to continue to care about, and it's a problem systemically from top to bottom.
This is a question that was brought up a ton just across all sports radio, really any sports outlet. Sean, why can't the United States succeed at soccer?
That's the thing. I don't know what you want me to say because there's just excuse after excuse built in. I'm sick and tired of blaming refs and people claiming that refs are biased because, they hate America. I'm sick and tired of hearing the argument that our best athletes don't play soccer. I'm sick and tired of all of that nonsense. We're a country of 330 million, right? We should have enough of a talent pool to pull from where these guys can succeed. Now, granted, yes, pay to play is a big part of that. And that's what sets a lot of our athletes back at a younger age. But I'm sick and tired of that argument. I've watched this team fail at the biggest moments over and over and over and over again for 30 years. Yes, we've had highlights. There were highlights in the early 2000s in the World Cup with the Landon Donovan. I understand all of that. But that should be the norm for the United States. I don't have an answer to that question because I'm just sick and tired of giving one, frankly.
So let me kind of pile on to that because I actually have a thought on that. And this will go with this quote. This was when in 2013, Hammarby fired Gregg Berhalter. Gregg has brought order to our defensive game and has good discipline in the squad, but unfortunately we have not seen enough good dividends in the offense.
Yes.
Berhalter has no offensive plan. And that's partly my issue with him. And this is why I think we can't succeed is because we're bringing defensive teams in. When Team Canada goes to go win a gold medal in the Winter Olympics for ice hockey, they do not bring the fourth line grinder. You know what they bring? They bring 4 lines of first line NHL talent, much like Russia and America and all these other countries do. Sweden. We don't do that when it comes to soccer, and we should do that. Your best offensive defense or center back and cornerbacks or whatever positions they're called, that back line should be offensive just as much as your midfielders are. And I get it. Soccer is a little different than that, but you can still be super offensive heavy.
It's not a personnel issue for me. It's a tactic issue for me.
It is. That's exactly what I was just getting ready to say, is that, like, Sean, your point about not having the –
you have to have killer. You have to have a killer mentality when you're playing in these international games. There's got to be some pride. And yes, the strategy has to be there. And I think Pulisic is great, but you're right. Maybe Tim Weah, come on. What's he doing? Like, I'd rather see Josh Sargent run out there, for 45 minutes a game at 110 miles an hour trying to score. Sacrifice the defensive
I don't think
play.
that I just don't see that. To me, it's not the personnel. Look at and maybe my opinion is wrong or off because I don't have as much focus on it. I watch a ton of other sports. I do like soccer trending more, especially with City and my pain of Tottenham, which they just kind of run together. It's awful. But you look at the roster that we have now compared to the roster that we used to have. There's not as many MLS players. You look at the players that are on our roster now, we have guys that are playing in the EPL. We have guys that are playing at the top leagues in Italy and Germany. Like, we have the talent to compete with all of these other countries. Now, granted, yes, we don't have, an England roster or maybe even to an extent an Argentinian roster. Like, we're getting there. We'll get there. But the talent is not the issue. LeBron James is not going to play soccer. He's 6'11". Tell me a 6'11" guy that plays soccer.
We're not
Peter Check.
Okay. We're not going to get a Randy Moss to play soccer. Like, the guys that are playing those sports because of how big they are. You look at these kids in Texas, these 17-year-olds that are 6'6" and 325 pounds that are going to go play D1 football. They're not playing very much soccer. That's not what they're going to do.
See, I'm going to actually completely disagree with that because I think that we can absolutely get athletes like that to play soccer. It's all about exposure and it's all about just the will of wanting to play it from a younger age. And that's what hosting a World Cup does. That
would help.
It does it, but you have to perform at that World Cup. You got to, kids that are 4 to 8 have to turn on the TV with their parents and see the United States and want to be able to play at that level. That's why teams like Argentina and, like you mentioned, England, they've been doing that for 200 years. They have a jump on that than we do. We can get to that.
That's the massive growth that women's soccer got. That truly is what it came from.
Sorry, I didn't mean to mow your lawn, but there's an inherent issue too with the fact that in America you want kids to specialize. By 8 years old, these kids are deciding that they're going to play baseball or whatever. Chris was playing hockey by the age of like 6, and that's, I think, all he ever played. And as good of an athlete as he was, I bet he could have been a great soccer player. So I think there's some of that. Yeah, but throw the 6'6", 300-pound kids out of it. What would it have taken to get guys like you and me, Adam, who we're 6 foot tall, depending on which gas station we walk into.
Okay, I was waiting where you were going with that because I'm like, you're not 6 foot tall. But the next point that I was going to make, though, the next point I was going to make is that we are a country with unlimited athletic resources. Why can we not go out and pay? I don't care who we're going to pay. You could pay Pep $20 million. Come coach the national team. Klopp, come coach the national team. We're going to pay you out the ass to do it. I don't care about the funds. You get a name like that Now you start shifting everything. Honestly, the results right away don't have to happen. But you get him to come in and you say, look, this is what we're going to run. This is the system we're going to have. I have succeeded at Man City. I've succeeded at Liverpool. I mean, hell, any of those guys that are big name coaches overseas, bring them over. I don't freaking care what Gregg Berhalter's done. It doesn't matter. I don't care if he played on the national team. It doesn't work. This isn't the Ryder Cup. Keegan Bradley got named to the Ryder Cup. He may be a fantastic Ryder Cup coach. But guess what? It's not soccer. You have to know what's going on. We need to pay guys to come over and do this.
And the reason I'm skeptical that they won't, and who knows, maybe by the time this publishes out and people are listening, maybe he won't. Maybe Berhalter will be out of a job. I don't know. But the reason why I think that they won't is that they do not have to qualify for the next World Cup. There is no pressure. Well, yeah, because they're one of the hosts in an expanded World Cup, which is also dumb, by the way. So there is no pressure for them to make a World Cup, so they don't feel the pressure to replace him. They don't. It does not matter to the U.S. Soccer Federation if they win or lose at this juncture, because they know come 2026 there'll be sellout NFL stadiums across the country hosting a myriad of games, and they're going to make an absolute fuck ton of money. That's all that matters to the U.S. Soccer Federation, kind of like I mentioned earlier. And to bring this whole thing back to what we were talking about, like personnel and tactics and everything, whenever we started talking on that, it is a Berhalter problem. He does not know how to run an offense. He does not know how to play offensive soccer. Like Kenny had mentioned, that the issues that why he was fired from his club. The team that you have Pulisic, who was the player of the year for AC Milan. You have Weston McKennie, who's playing at Juve. You have Balogun, who was at Arsenal. You have these guys who are playing at the biggest stages and who are playing well. You don't have to have a defined, rigid structure. You go out there and you tell them to fucking ball out. Play the game. Go be creative. Go take guys one-on-one. Like, that's what makes those guys excellent, because you have the defensive structure of a guy like Adams behind them to cover up those mistakes, to be that ball winner. I don't understand why it's so hard for Gregg Berhalter to understand that. I don't know if it's an ego thing, that he feels like he needs to be the smartest guy in the room, and that if you do not adhere to his structure and you do not play his defensive way, then you do not play. But I don't know if that's the case, because we're seeing dissent from the players, like what we just saw from Weah on the field. So clearly there's disciplinary issues within the camp as well. I don't know what the answer is outside of firing him, and I'm really worried the ship has sailed. And if that is the case, we will be one of the only hosts at a World Cup to not make it out of the group. I don't care who we're playing at this point. Mm-hmm. I don't care. I have no faith in this team to win anymore. All of that is lost. Only time I think we're going to win games now is if we play Mexico. And like I said earlier, I don't give a shit if they beat Mexico anymore.
Nope. Doesn't matter. We've done it too much.
Yeah.
This team needs Craig Berube.
Oh, he'd be great. I mean, truthfully, Sean just had the best point there. You probably don't have to have much of an idea of what's going on. You just let them go play. You need to be a motivator. I mean, you need Ted Lasso. In reality, you need somebody that can bring a team together, that can get guys fired up, that can get guys at least on the same page, that, hey, guys, we're going that direction today. Let's go.
You need a guy who's willing to promote the fact that you should not be afraid to make mistakes.
Oh, for sure.
Whenever players like in their prime, whenever they're not afraid to make mistakes, like basically kind of like the Brazilian style of it all, when you're willing to be that creative is whenever you get great soccer. And I don't see that happening under Berhalter. But all right, we got to move on. We got some hot dogs to talk about. All right, who wants to discuss our next topic?
I got it. I think this is truly the nation's pastime. July 4th, we all sit down in front of the TV, depending on your time zone, sometime around noon, lunchtime. Everybody's hungry, and everybody wants to turn on baseball. But let's be real. Nobody turns on baseball anymore. We're all turned on the Nathan's Hotdog Eating Contest, because everybody likes watching guys just absolutely devour hot dogs to the point that makes you just want to throw up. The unfortunate thing is that Joey Chestnut, the biggest name in the world of eating, maybe other than Kobayashi, and we'll get to him there in a minute, did not participate this year. I forget how many years in a row it was that Joey
16.
Chestnut had been the champ. Was it 16?
Wow.
Something like that. I mean, I think it's somewhere right around there, something like that. You guys can double check the math on that. But anyways, he is the champ. He is the all-time record holder. I believe every year he had set the record, other than the past like 3 years, because he basically just got to like 50 and it's like, all right, cool. You guys are good. I'm going to keep going. So this year we have a new champion. The men's champion this year is Patrick Bertoletti. He ate a whopping 58 hot dogs, and he was still short by like 10 hot dogs of the record. But 58 hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes. Yuck. I'm probably more along the lines with Radim Dvoracek. He ate 23, and I still think that is a way too many in 10 minutes. But he was last in the men's competition. And then I believe the women's champion was Miki Sudo with 51, and she actually beat like 10 other guys, which is pretty impressive, I would say. But the question that I have for you guys before we get to Chestnut and Kobayashi, how many hot dogs do you guys think you can eat in 10 minutes?
5. And not feel great about
it. There's no feeling great no matter what you're doing.
I'm going to say this. I think I could eat a whole pack of them. I think I could eat 8.
You go an 8-pack?
Wow.
Yeah.
But hold on. Is that an 8-pack of hot dogs, and then you would have 10 buns? Because we don't sell. Why would we sell 8 hot dogs and 8 buns in a package? That just makes too much sense.
No, I'm gonna get 8 hot dogs.
That's a lot.
Man, that is a lot of hot dogs.
Yeah, I think I could do it.
A minute and 25 for hot dogs.
Yeah, I was thinking 5, like one every 2 minutes. It's bread, so it's gonna eventually get a little harder to eat as you go on.
No, I eat like a stray dog who's never seen food. So like, I think I could do it. I could do 8, but at that point, like when the brain finally catches up and goes, "Hey, dude, you're full." Yes, yeah, it's gonna be bad.
I think in a normal sitting, like if I'm eating a normal meal of hot dogs, I think I can eat 3, and I start to feel okay. I think I'm pretty full. So that's probably 15, 20 minutes, and I'm not under pressure, just eating hot dogs, enjoying it. I think in 10 minutes, I'm with Sean, 5 or 6. It's probably my limit, and not because
how are they cooked though?
I believe they're grilled, just like every other.
I'm picturing
sure they're grilled.
I'm picturing Jimbo like making some of these like darkness
like
for
color
me.
Your shirt.
Like, yeah, like those are. Oh, that's my hot dog, man.
They're crunchy.
Yeah, I could house a bunch of those.
Yeah, I think it's the buns that would get me. I don't think I could do it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So the Nathan's hot dog method is to slow cook them, starting on a low heat and then upping the temperature until they're cooked through, which takes about 40 minutes. They're roller dogs.
Oh, okay. So we factor that in. Let's just like the Quick Trip hot dog and the Wally's hot dog is always plumper than like the true grilled hot dog.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to cut my number back. I think I'm gonna have to go with 4.
Because these aren't home wreckers, right? These are normal hot dogs.
Yeah, like maybe 5.
So did you see the rule? And let me and tell me if you think that this would affect or not. They're allowed to throw up, but it can't hit the table or get on any of the other food, right? They have to catch it in.
They have to catch it and put it back in
with their hand.
Yeah.
No, it can hit the ground. It can hit the ground.
It can hit the ground. Okay, but don't they have to eat it again?
Yeah. No, they don't. I thought they did.
Are you sure?
No, that's what they talked about. And here is actually one of the controversies that surrounds Kobayashi, is that like I think it was it his 5th or 6th championship, because he won 6 in a row and Chestnut had won everything since. Is that Chestnut is seen pointing him out, and Kobayashi's got his shirt up.
Oh, like I remember that.
Throwing up into his into his pants, basically, and nothing they can do about it.
That's gross.
Yeah,
it's really good. That's very
I mean,
gross.
There is nothing attractive about a hot dog eating competition. Also, in case you guys missed it, Joey Chestnut did complete the Buffalo Wild Wings challenge, and he ate 200 boneless wings. I forgot what the time limit was. 200 boneless wings is, again, disgusting. The other point I wanted to make is that with Joey Chestnut not participating in the Nathan's hot dog eating competition because he did sign a deal with Impossible Beef, which is not real hot dogs. And they did not want to do anything with Nathan's, and Nathan's really didn't want to do anything with Impossible. They are doing their own thing on Netflix. It is going to be on, I believe. Hold on, let me find it. I'm scrolling. Okay, it's not announced yet. Oh, here it is, September 2nd. Ooh, Kenny's birthday.
Ooh.
Fantastic.
Can't wait to not watch.
We are definitely watching that on your birthday. No doubt about that. We might live stream it.
We might. We should.
But Joey Chestnut and what is his technically Takiro Kobayashi is his first name. Never knew his name. First name was Takiro. They're going to be having
Prince.
their
own. He only
own.
goes by one name. It's just Kobayashi.
Yeah, really, and really, it's just Chestnut. We all know that.
Yeah.
But they are competing in a hot dog eating competition of their own. It'll be live on Netflix. It'll be the first time they've been fighting, I guess, together, if you want to call it fighting, eating together, since 2000 and it looks like 2011, something like that.
I think it's 2010. That's when that was the controversy, right? And that's whenever he announced that Kobayashi would not compete in the tournament anymore.
So here's the last question I'm going to pose. What is the more watched show on Netflix? Kobayashi and Joey Chestnut, or Jake Paul and Mike Tyson?
Oh, come on.
I mean,
just curious.
It's Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, but I feel like the numbers.
There's a lot of people that are going to watch it.
I feel like the numbers would surprise us, but I definitely think it's. I mean, you're tuning in to see Mike Tyson just hopefully beat the absolute shit out of two first names, Jake Paul. So
we can only hope so.
Yeah.
Wait, is the Tyson one behind a paywall?
I don't. No, it's not.
Think so.
I don't think so.
Okay, so both are included. Assuming both are included. Yeah, dude. I mean, like, yeah, of course, Tyson. Like, people might watch it in the app. I guess the interesting stat would actually truly be to like watch like total views or live views.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Kenny. Let's go to the last topic.
All right. Well, it is officially college football season. So I don't know if you guys know. Sean, do you know the name Ollie Gordon?
Nope.
No. Okay. So Ollie Gordon is the Oklahoma State running back. He is damn it, where did the quote go? Hold on real quick.
Listen, my NCAA football knowledge starts on the 16th of this month.
God, I can't wait. Mine will be the 15th.
Ollie Gordon won the best running back of the year last year. I believe he robbed Cody Schrader. Neither here nor there. So this offseason, Ollie Gordon got arrested for DUI. Yes, I know, shocking. He doesn't play for the University of Georgia. So Mike Van Gundy.
He will soon, though.
Yeah. I always do this. I always say Mike Van Gundy. I don't know why I do that. Mike Gundy, who you all might know as the I'm 40 guy.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Said this today. I guess, is Big 12 Media Day starting?
I think so. It's something. They spelled Cincinnati wrong, by the way.
They spelled Cincinnati wrong.
That's fantastic.
Pardon me. I got so excited talking shit about the Big 12 that I almost lost it. So, OK State coach Mike Gundy says Ollie Gordon won't miss games after DUI. Quote, "My job now in the business world that we're in is to make decisions for everybody. I don't want to affect the other players on the team based on a decision he made." So Ollie Gordon, who was arrested for a DUI, will not miss a single snap of the season for Oklahoma State. Then I wish I could play the clip. Mike Gundy, damn it. Then later in the afternoon continues to stick his foot in his mouth by saying, this is not the exact quote, but based on his weight, what he was at 0.1. The legal limit is still 0.08. Said, what's that, like 3 or 4 beers? Quote, I've probably done that 1,000 times in my life, end quote. So Gundy continues to be the wordsmith we've known him to be for a while. Thoughts? The look on your face is just wonderful.
How old is Ollie?
22, I would imagine.
Okay, so he's
23.
of legal age. So okay. To allow a player with a DUI just on its own to continue to play football without any repercussions is crazy. The fact that then you said that he blew a what was it?
A 0.1, and actually, I will
Okay.
stand corrected, Sean. He is only 20 years old.
Okay, that makes it
even
significantly worse.
Oh, man.
Okay, so Mike Gundy's an idiot. Clearly, he's learned nothing in his time as a head coach of teaching young men. He's clearly there for one reason and one reason only, and I guess it's no rules, all holds barred type of program he's running. I guess it's probably the easiest way to describe it.
Yeah, man. Okay, so I also blanked on the award. He won the Doak Walker. I just I'm thinking about this situation because Gordon went into the portal, got recruited by like everybody, and then went back to Oklahoma State. So clearly Oklahoma State was going to bend some rules for him because they think that he's just going to jump right back into the portal. But I get it. College football is a business now. But if I drive drunk in my career, I would be fired.
At the age of 20, when you're enrolled in school, you probably wouldn't be enrolled in school anymore.
No. I actually knew guys who were kicked out of school for getting arrested driving drunk under the age of 21.
And so Ollie Gordon, that's his name, right?
Yes.
Is he eligible for the NFL draft after this year?
After this year, yes.
Okay. So it's not like they're worried about retaining him in the transfer portal at the end of the year.
I would assume.
No, he'll go to the NFL.
Okay. That's dumb. Why are people so dumb? That's the topic of the day.
So hold on, I'm gonna get back to Gundy for a minute. Here's the thing about Mike Gundy, and at least in my thought process, he has been there for so long. Let's not forget that he went to Oklahoma State. He was the starting quarterback, I believe, all 4 years, and I'm pretty sure they won 2 bowl games. Now he did have Barry Sanders there for part of that, so that helps. But he has also been a coach there for 18 years. He knows that he's got it made. Like, all of the donors love him. There's nobody that really is going to kick him out. He's in the Big 12, for the love of God. Like, let's face it, they could put up probably 9 wins and probably win that conference. That is going to be an absolute shit show of a conference. It's a poverty conference, let's face it. It doesn't matter to him what he says, but to say something so stupid, and it's even dumber to me now that he says that, and now knowing that Ollie Gordon is 20, you can't. I don't care what your thought process is, and yes, I know you have a microphone in front of your mouth and you don't get to think it through when the question is asked to you immediately. We've all said some very stupid things, but we're not paid millions of dollars a year to be in front of a microphone and get asked those questions, so it's okay.
If you want to pay millions of dollars here to be in front of a microphone,
we have an email. You can reach out to us at podridethepine@gmail.com, and we will happily respond to anything, good or not. We'll respond to it. But to say that when everybody is thinking that is completely different. Have we all done it? Yes. We've all been stupid. We've all had that situation. Yes. Do we regret it the next day? 100%. We're all like, man, we should not have done that. That was not a good idea. I know Kenny and I can think of one of them right off the top of our head. But it happens. There has to be a punishment. There has to be. I don't care. I don't care if it's internal. I don't care if it's external. But you have to say the appropriate response, which would have been, Ollie made a mistake. We are handling it as a program. It will be kept internal as far as what we will do, and we will move forward as a program. That's all you have to say. Like, that is it. You don't have to go into some wild ass response. And most coaches would be smart enough to do that. Hell, he could have called Kirby Smart. He's got a ton of professional advice on how to do that. The answer in that situation blows my mind. And then for him to try to backtrack it is even worse.
Sit him a game. Sit him one game at the start of the year when you're playing.
It's not going to hurt.
When you're playing some team you're going to beat
Kansas.
up anyway, like Kansas or North Texas or something like that. Just sit him in a game like that. Who cares? It's not going to matter for the grand scheme. At least save face by doing that.
Yep.
So if we looked at their 2024 football schedule, their first game, Saturday, August 31st, is South Dakota State.
Yeah.
You might need him. You might need him for that one.
No, you won't. You will not need him for that game.
Hold on. Am I getting my programs confused?
No, that's the Jackrabbits, right?
Yeah. No. It's the
North Dakota
Never mind.
This is the better. Yeah.
South Dakota State is on the list of teams I'm going to start in NCAA football 25.
You know what you do?
All right.
You know what you do? You play him one series. You play him. You run him out there the first time. He doesn't get the ball at all, and then he sits his ass on the bench. And you know what? That's his suspension. And you do exactly what Adam said. We're handling it internally, and you kind of make it known that he was suspended without actually saying he's suspended.
Yeah, and you tell everybody on the sideline. You say, "Hey, we're not talking to him this game. Don't go up to him and shoot the shit and laugh in front of the cameras. Like, this is a punishment for him, and it needs to be relayed like that to the public."
I mean, to be 100% honest, the best situation to go back to is when Jameis Winston stole the crab legs, and Jimbo Fisher made him go through warm-ups, made him go through everything. They went back into the locker room, and he told them not to come out with pads on. Now, Jameis being Jameis still came out with pads on and had to be basically told to go sit down. But that's what you do. You have him warm up. You have him go through all of the pregame ceremonies for, the opening game of the season, and then you sit his ass on the bench.
And that was for a victimless crime, too.
The crab didn't think so.
Well, the crab was already dead.
Have you seen the prices at Publix? God damn it. I mean,
he deserves them.
Jameis Winston is a hero of the people.
Steal from corporations. This is a victimless crime.
Very true.
I mean, but like, part of my thing is with these coaches too, like, and we've got a coach too. I'm not going to sit here and be a black pot and call the kettle black kind of thing. Eli loves sticking his foot in his mouth. Like, these guys get paid a lot of money. Like, you should have like crisis managers and people who tell you how to handle stuff. And the fact that Gundy, who has now done the I'm 40, I'm a man, he had another outburst. I forget what it was.
Oh, he had one a couple years ago. What was it?
He had the whole OAN thing.
Oh yeah. He had an NRA thing too, I believe.
He just continues to stick his foot in his mouth.
Well, there's no consequences every time that he does, so of course he's going to.
That's what. Yeah. His job is never going to be in any sort of jeopardy unless he doesn't win a game or he does something to offend a donor. Other than that, he's got it made.
And he's not going to do that. You want to know why he's not going to do that? Because, hold on, let's see here. Hold on, timeout. Where'd it go? Sorry, pardon me. He has a 166-79 win-loss record. He has won 12 bowl games in the almost 20 years he's been a head coach at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, let's see here, their overall record.
And he came after Barry Switzer, right?
Well, Barry Switzer was at Oklahoma.
No, I think Switzer was at Oklahoma State and then went to Oklahoma.
Oh, I don't know about that. We'll have to verify that. So Oklahoma all-time 600 38 wins. That's not terrible, but they're almost basically a 500 team, slightly above 500. You know,
Oh, no, even better. In 2001, Mike Gundy was hired by Oklahoma State after Bob Simmons resigned, and their search produced Mike Gundy and Les Miles.
that's right. Les Miles was the head coach there.
And by the way, Switzer was University of Oklahoma and then the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, okay. I thought he was at Oklahoma State.
Not that I'm finding.
Either way, it doesn't matter. He's not going anywhere. It's, by the way, his high school football coach was the one and only Dick Evans. In case you guys were curious. Yeah, he's not going anywhere. He's just an idiot that gets a microphone. And Kenny, to your point, they do have PR people. They do have people that help coach them through it. The problem is that they don't think through the answers when they're asked that immediately. Like,
yeah, but he's been doing this for how long? Like,
he
should definitely know. When you get a question like that, why don't you just say, I can't speak on it at this time until I consult with the player, or just literally anything like that.
Anything would be good because you're going to get asked it. Like, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, you should have been debriefed before. If Biden can answer questions when he gets debriefed, then Mike Gundy is fully capable of doing well.
And he has the memory of an ADHD squirrel, so Gundy should be able to do it.
Walnut.
Anything else before we wrap up on Gundy? Are we done?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
All right.
I'm so ready for college football.
I am very ready. I think I've mentioned it twice now. I cannot wait for NCAA football 25.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. I was going to mention this off air, but we're going to do it right now. So, Sean, you have the pre-order, right? You're getting NCAA.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, me too. So here's the deal. When we record next week, we will both have it. We will both have our dynasties picked. We want our top 3 that we were going to pick from and who we ended up picking and why.
So I don't know if you can see this, but I have a list of schools.
Oh, I'm starting mine.
That I'm going to put on a wheel and I'm going to spin it for whoever to see where I'm starting.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. Jess has no idea what she's in for. I'm so sorry. She shouldn't have got me a PlayStation.
All right, let's get out of here. We're definitely going to talk more NCAA football as the weeks go on because I'm going to have to. Kenny, plug your socials.
You're picking on the one guy who doesn't have a PS5 yet, you know. All right, you can find us at TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Threads for some reason. We're all at Pod Ride the Pine. Go watch us on YouTube, please. Like, subscribe, smash that like button, as they say. Again, I think YouTube should be our preferred platform, but you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and wherever you might get your podcast from.
And we are looking for sponsors. So if you would like to donate to our program so Kenny can get a PlayStation 5, we'd be much appreciated. Our graphics team would love to get some sort of paycheck. We have a new intern for our social media team. So they're still interns. They're not getting paid.
He was on vacation last week too.
Yeah, he was on vacation. Yep. So please, we will be happy to mention whatever your business is within reason. But yeah, minimal fees. We're open to anything at this point.
And you can email us to get that sponsorship at podridethepine@gmail.com. Cool. All right, let's get out of here. Everybody enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you, I guess, next week on Wednesday. So, see ya.
Sounds good.
See ya.
Okay, bye.